We are here. We're back for number 2, episode 2 at Farniente in Glendale of the Money in the Bank Show. I'm Andre Gordon, directed by Dre.
I'm John Roca, at The Roca Says.
And John?
Yeah.
Again, I can't tell you how happy I am to be in this chair.
This is fantastic, isn't it? We're back in the same set. This is so awesome. We look real. We look professional.
We're professional. Mike Rotunda, IRS, came in and did a little work for us.
He did. He saved us a lot of money.
Well,
yeah.
John, it's gotten kind of crazy what's happening in the WWE right now with Vince McMahon and Triple H and CM Punk. I mean, I don't know if you read the articles, but it sounds like to me, from what I read, that Punk is really not wanting to come back.
Yeah, it seems that way now. And they're saying that Vince is taking this on. Like, Vince is the one who's personally handling it.
Yeah, and you know, the thing about that is Triple H has been doing everything hands-on, right? Right. As we can see in the product.
As we see the product.
But now,
not just Triple H. Also Stephanie. Yeah.
Well, what I read, I don't know, this is something that our sources have told us, that Triple H is not only pissed because CM Punk walked out, right, but he's even more pissed now because Papa Vince has taken it away from him.
Listen, this is the way it's always been. Vince knows what to do. There's a reason this is a multi-billion-dollar empire.
With a B.
With a B, because Vince knows what he's doing. He's been doing it for so long. His instincts are almost always right, and there's a reason that people keep coming back week after week after week. And this business has survived all other federations. It has destroyed every other federation that has come up because he knows what the public wants and how to appease these wrestlers, and he always forgives and forgets. I mean, the Ultimate Warrior.
I can't believe
no one saw that coming, and that shows you the kind of connection that he has and the touch that he has and his business acumen with these people.
So, John, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you think in any way, could this be a work?
God, it would be terrible if it was a work, because this is the exact same thing he did in 2011. And if he did it again, I think it would be lame. Because it'd be like, well, you did the same work before, where you're claiming to leave and not really leave, and then you might be coming back. Now, there are rumors that he might be coming back. Bad news there. I read on one of the sites the possibility that Bad News Barrett is going to call him out on subsequent Raws. And then Punk's going to show up at some point while he's being called out and like beat up Barrett, and then Triple H is going to come out, and that's going to be how they start the feud to WrestleMania. But I even think that's boring and stupid, because I love Barrett. You know I love Barrett, but that's a wasted gimmick on him.
They're wasting him right now.
Right. And to throw Punk into that gimmick is to put him almost all the way down.
Which is why he left.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I was reading that he was going to come back, and if he does come back, then it's interesting to figure out how can they integrate him back in. Right. The reason why I think it's not a work is because he has been in no storyline. Yep. They haven't mentioned anything. Right. Since he's left.
And his Twitter, there's nothing like...
There's nothing.
There's nothing that kind of makes it feel like it might be a little bit of work or give hints. You know, like Sheamus' Twitter was like loading, right, whatever it was doing before he showed up for Royal Rumble. Punk's not doing any of that.
Dude, it'll be interesting. CM Punk is scheduled to do a show on Comedy Central, a talk show, coming up in a week or so. Right. So if he does that, I think we'll find out what is going on.
Right. What's your opinion?
I think it's real. I think he's upset. Yeah. I think he's had it. Yeah. And there's actually more rumblings of another wrestler who wants to leave for the same reason as CM Punk, and it's getting serious. Wow. Like, he's getting ready to walk out.
Do you know who it is?
Yes, and I'm going to tell you guys after we come back, after this.
What you want?
Welcome back to the Money in the Bank Show. As you can see, it's gotten pretty bright in here, so I had to put on the shades. Andre, where we left off last we left off, you were going to tell us who you think might be the next wrestler who might walk out for WWE like Punk did.
There are rumors circulating rampant, and actually, there's been some talk about Alberto Del Rio leaving the WWE.
Alberto! Oh!
His reasoning is a couple things. Number one, he said since the World Championship has been consolidated into one, he's no longer a main event guy.
That's true.
He said he's being pushed down. He said he feels like he's being fed to Batista, that he's been here in and out every day, wrestling the house shows, going across the country, going across the world, and then Batista comes in, and that Del Rio is nothing more than a feeder for Batista. And so because of that, at the age of 36, he does not feel like he's at a point where he wants to be a feeder.
Well, this is ironic because Punk is 35. So it's around the same age.
Yeah.
And, but I think it's a different situation because Del Rio has had all kinds of opportunities to get over with the fans and hasn't quite gotten over to the level, anywhere near the level that Punk has or Bryan has or any of these other main eventers have. He just doesn't, the fans just don't connect to him either as a heel or as a face. It just doesn't matter.
He touched on that.
Yeah.
Is that he's been relegated to being the flagship for SmackDown.
I think that's so ridiculous when these wrestlers blame their way they're being. Like, it is so ridiculous. The fans love you if they love you.
Because
and they don't love
The Rock was on SmackDown forever.
Right, right. And he built his thing. I mean, Punk, no matter what you can say about Punk, he always had a hardcore bunch of people and fans who cheered for him. Del Rio doesn't have that.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He doesn't even have what Ray had.
No.
No, and if you're going to compare Latino wrestlers, Ray had this great following. Del Rio hasn't had anything like that. So I don't think it's a fault of the creative or management. I think he just doesn't have that it factor that you need.
And he's so good in the ring.
He's great in the ring.
He's a great heel.
Sometimes.
But what they've said is since he lost Ricardo.
Oh, yeah.
That's what the officials basically said. Since he lost Ricardo, that he hasn't had the same type of juice.
What a surprise. Didn't we say this on the show last year? That Ricardo being taken away from Del Rio was
a mistake.
Yeah, exactly.
So, speaking of chanting, Joe.
Yeah, speaking of chanting.
What was happening during these matches? They're chanting CM Punk.
I love it.
It's great.
When the fans tell you what they want.
Yes.
And because you know what? You don't exist without the fans.
That's right.
You don't have a show without the fans. You don't have merchandise sales. You're not selling out stadiums. You're not holding WrestleMania without the fans. So if the fans are chanting CM Punk, it's because you need to figure that out. Bless you. The fact that they were chanting that through Randy Orton's promo and then through Daniel Bryan's match. That's ironic as hell.
When it went to Bryan's match, I was like, wow.
That's real. Because they're usually doing this during Bryan's match. But they decided to chant for Punk during Bryan's match. And I think that's because they want Punk back in the main event. And it's ridiculous that he was not going to be part of the Elimination Chamber.
To have him thrown out of the Royal Rumble by Kane.
Okay. And not even legally thrown out. I hate that bullshit of bullcrap whenever they do it.
And then to bring in number 30, I feel what I've read is that he would have even been happy if he was the last man in.
That would have been great. It's great drama to bring Punk in at the end.
Because he was number one, have him in as last man in. Right. But to bring in Ray at number 30, and then you have Punk and Daniel Bryan should have been 30. Right. Bryan and Batista. Then you respect everybody in the ring.
Exactly. And you look forward to see what, because all kinds of possibilities are in the ring at that moment, and you are glued to see what happens right there at the end. And unfortunately, they didn't do that, and I think they wasted it.
They did. And so now we're Elimination Chamber.
Right.
And I feel like it's, they missed it. I just feel like they're missing opportunity.
I agree. We should talk about that when we come back. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we'll talk about when we come back. You're so close, WWE. You get so far. And we'll talk when we get back after this. We are back at the Money in the Bank show in Glendale at Farniente Italian restaurant. Come on down, get a $4 beer.
$4 beer.
And a free slice of pizza.
What?
That is out of control.
I'm doing that after this.
Wait, listen, John, I wanted to talk about the Elimination Chamber.
Yes. What do you want to talk about?
I feel like the top half of the Elimination Chamber is solid. There's so much to say.
Yes.
And then and now, okay, let me be clear.
Yes.
I love Christian, and I love Antonio Cesaro.
Right. You do. That's on record.
That is on record.
Yeah.
Wiki. But I feel like what they're doing with this, by having Christian lose, on SmackDown, and having Cesaro lose on SmackDown, they've taken the value that they could potentially add into the match. There's no reason why they had to lose.
Yeah.
There's no reason why. So when you have these marquee names and you add these other two names, you're thinking, okay, well, let's give these two guys a push. Let's make it so we don't know who's potentially going to win.
Right.
They've basically said, these two are not going to win.
Well, it's interesting. Yeah, we all know that, right? There's no way, even though Jack Swagger did win an Elimination Chamber once, there's no way Cesaro wins. There's no way Christian wins. And you've got, Cena, you've got Sheamus, you've got Orton, and you've got Daniel Bryan in there. So it's going to already, like you said, the top half is going to be fantastic. What I think they needed with those two guys, why they put them in there, is they need basically the cannon fodder. They need the collateral damage of what's going to happen, and then eventually, I mean, it could be like what's his face who kept surviving, Santino, who kept surviving and surviving in that match, and no one expected that. It could be that kind of situation with Cesaro. Like they may be
trying to
angling Cesaro with a push. If Cesaro's one of the last 2 or 3 guys left, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
I love Christian. Edge is a friend of the show, but I think his days are gone, and he shouldn't have a shot at these titles. It's just not going to have the same kind of oomph as it would. But I think with Cesaro, you could slowly build it. The fact that they're having him break up with Swagger, and you see that happening every week, it's going to happen. I mean, the Coulter slap a couple of weeks ago was the beginning of that. So, you know what I'm saying? And then Swagger lost again, and Cesaro didn't even try to help him. He just stood there shaking his head. That tells you right there what's going to happen. And I think the fans are going to get behind Cesaro.
I think they will.
He will turn face. It's quite possible.
Every 90 seconds. There goes things across the border. Or you can't tell if they took your watch.
Oh my God.
Is that what they put?
Those signs.
The signs that those guys have.
Yeah, Coulter. So what do you think is going to happen? What do you think?
Let me tell you what I hope does not happen.
Okay.
I hope what does not happen is that John Cena win the championship. Because actually, I was wrong. He doesn't have 13 titles. He has 14.
14. So he's 2 more.
He's 2 away from Ric Flair.
2 away from the Flair.
Holy God.
Woo!
I think what will happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope Daniel Bryan wins.
You do.
Everybody hopes Daniel Bryan wins.
He's not going to win.
He's not. And you know who's going to win? Kane.
No, Kane's going to screw him. No, you tell me.
I think who is going to win. I think Orton could come out with the title.
What?
I think he's going to lose it before WrestleMania.
Right, but you don't think it's not going to be eliminated?
I don't think it'll be yet.
Interesting.
I don't think it'll be yet.
I still think they're going to do a triple threat match at WrestleMania. I think that's the only saving grace. It has to be Daniel Bryan. It has to be Cena, of course. And it has to be Orton. Those are the 3. Oh, I guess
Batista.
Well, maybe it's a 4-way.
Batista has to be in it.
Fine. Do a 4-way. A 4-way match would be awesome for the title. That's like your last 45 minutes of WrestleMania.
Well, what they're talking about is that the Wyatts are going to start feuding with Cena.
No one wants to see Batista. Oh, yeah, I guess. That's a way to get him.
Because they're saying that...
But the Wyatts are fighting the Shield.
The Wyatts are apparently going to go face.
Yes, that's happening.
And the Shield is going to go heel even worse, but break up.
Right, because Roman Reigns is definitely leaving the Shield.
I've said it from day one. He is going to be the future of the WWE.
All right, so you think Orton?
I think Orton's going to win. What do you think?
Damn it. I think you're right. And I hate that because I want Daniel Bryan to win. But maybe I will say my dark horse. Cesaro. Cesaro is my dark horse.
My dark horse is Sheamus.
Yeah, it is.
My dark horse is Sheamus, but I'm picking Orton on record. Orton. And we'll talk more after this break. Sheamus. It's fine.
All right, welcome back to the Money in the Bank show. We are here at 4 Horsemen. We are the 4 Horsemen Films, right? 4 Productions. 4 Horsemen Studios. Outsourced to Forniente Restaurant.
That's right.
We love it. We're so happy to be in these nice, comfy leather seats.
I want this pizza.
Yeah. So big shout out. But I am excited to talk about what we're going to talk about next. As lifelong fans of both these men, the rumors are coming that Hulk Hogan and Sting are going to be at WrestleMania 30. Andre, what do you think?
Well, you know something, brother? Ever since WrestleMania 2, dude. I can't do it anymore. Man, Sting! Ow! You know what? Never say never.
Right.
Never say never. Two things. Number one, Hulk Hogan and Vince McMahon were apparently never going to work together again. It was never
after
going to
his last stint, it was done.
It was done.
He went to TNA and tried to be a competitor to the WWE again, like he did with WCW. And look at that.
And he's coming back. That's the word. I think it's only fitting. It's almost like the world is not complete unless Hogan comes back and retires as a member of the federation in which he built with Vince and made popular. And you know, the crazy thing about Sting is Sting has been on record saying he has no interest in working for Vince because Sting is a Christian and Vince is evil, and he doesn't want to work for the face of the Dark Lord or he who shall not be named. But again, never say never.
Never say never.
Because this WrestleMania is supposed to be huge.
Yeah.
Now, what I read today was that potentially Sting could not come back until next WrestleMania because next WrestleMania is in California.
Oh, my God. Well, we're going to that.
Yes, we are.
We're going to do a live feed from that, live location. That makes no sense to me. Why would you wait another year, get another year older? I mean, that makes no sense. You do it now, 30, it's a big, it's the right number. It's in New Orleans. It's going to be a big party situation. And the WWE right now is so desperate to get attention for WrestleMania because of what's going on behind the scenes with Punk, what's going on with the dissatisfaction with Daniel Bryan's push within the company, and the boring matches that they've already announced to people. There's been basically a kind of reaction across the board from a majority of fans and a majority of the internet people on blogging about it. It's just not that exciting. So you've got to do things to make it exciting, make it an event. I mean, we're going to watch regardless, but we want to watch with the anticipation and the joy that it's going to bring. And Hogan coming back, of course, for both of us lifelong Hogan fans, NWO, would be awesome for life. But bringing back Sting would be just that little bit more extra that would be fantastic for them because Sting has never been with the WWE.
Never.
And it'd be a hell of a way to come in.
They say it's completing the WCW, WWE circle.
Right.
And the other thing that we've heard is Sting versus The Undertaker.
Right.
Which I think that would be a great match. Again, though, if you're pumping up WrestleMania, we haven't seen Taker at all.
Right.
What's going on? What is going on with WrestleMania?
You only need to see Taker right before WrestleMania.
Just give us the bell. Give us the dong.
Yeah, that's all.
Give us something.
I think it'll be the Raw after Elimination
Should
Chamber.
I just say give us the dong?
Well,
I know what we mean. We are back, John, once again. One of our favorite segments of the show.
Yes.
The Roca Ranch and the Direct to You, where we speak directly to a faction or a person within the wrestling universe.
Right.
John.
Yeah.
I have something on the mind that I want to share.
Please.
My Direct to You is directed to the newest Hall of Fame inductee. Trust me. Jake.
Oh.
The Snake.
Oh.
Roberts. I have to say, after years of not seeing Jake, when he walked down that aisle, he looked fantastic.
Yeah, he did.
He still had the same eerie, scary thing about him. The DDT, which he created, which was actually an accident. Did you hear of the DDT? The DDT came about when he was in a match. He had a front face lock on his opponent, and he tripped over his own legs and fell down on the guy's head.
Oh my God.
In the moment, the guy just laid there. He thought it was a move, and the DDT was born. It never existed before that, and that's how Jake the Snake laid claim to the DDT. I just watched the best moments of Jake the Snake, which I will post on the Money in the Bank show, and the whole segment where Jake had the Snake Damien bite Macho Man's arm.
Oh, right.
And it was bleeding, and Elizabeth was crying, and Roddy Piper's freaking out. Where is that? We missed that. I missed that type of rivalry.
Right.
Jake, congratulations on your Hall of Fame induction. I'm happy to see you back in better shape, and you've kicked the can as far as the alcoholism goes. Congratulations, man. Big props to you. Trust me. John, what do you got?
Well, first, I want to say one last thing on that. That's great, and you have to give credit to DDP.
Yes.
Because the DDP yoga, I mean, turned his whole life around.
Yes.
So, mad love to DDP for doing what he did for Jake. I use the stuff. It's great just to promote it. You should definitely do the DDP yoga stuff if you're looking to get into yoga and don't want to be crazy about it. All right, so my Rogan rant this week is about the blown spot between the New Age Outlaws and the Brotherhood. You know, Cody Rhodes did that amazing sunset flicker off the top of the cage, which I think I hadn't seen since Kurt Angle did that years ago. And Road Dogg did not catch him. Road Dogg let him take the entire bump on his own. And that was insane. Because Road Dogg, before he got back into the wrestling the last couple of months, was behind the scenes guy. He was behind the curtain guy. He was helping wrestlers out. He was scouting. He was doing all these kinds of things. So you think a young, one of your mainstays up and comers right now, Cody, you don't want to do anything to risk his injury.
Son of a plumber.
Right. Well, the son of a plumber. Now, you don't want to. You want to catch him correctly.
Yes.
So what he did there was basically let Cody take the entire bump because his old ass got scared. Or he misjudged it. Now, we love the Road Dogg on the show. But as we love friends, we also have to call friends out when they do stupid stuff. And that was stupid. Maybe he misjudged it. Maybe you're right. Maybe he got old and misjudged it. But I saw the reaction. And as a man of age, let me tell you something. He was old, and he freaked out and got a little scared about how to catch him. Moved out of the way instinctively because he didn't want to get hurt. And Cody took the full bump, and I thought that was a shame because that was a good match. And I think they have great chemistry together as tag team. So I hope they don't split the Brotherhood because I think they're actually really good matches between those two four guys. And if they put them in WrestleMania, it'll be fantastic. And maybe Road Dogg will make up for that blown spot and help Cody out this time.
Oof, John, I'll tell you real quick. After I saw that moonsault, the first thing I did was Twitter, or on Google, is Cody Rhodes' arms broken? I thought he broke his arm. I thought he was broken. I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
He legitimately bounced off.
He did.
Canvas.
I'm telling you, he did. It was insane. I rewatched it 4 or 5 times just to slow down and see the reaction. How legitimate. He looked at, and the fact that Badass had to drag Road Dogg out by his arm, that's how Goldust should have dragged out Cody.
Right.
Because Cody's the one who took the hit, not Road Dogg.
Let me tell you something. Not only did Cody take the hit, he took the famouser after taking the hit off.
You did, and that's a pro.
Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. You love it. You do
love Cody.
You do.
Stash. I root for you. Well, that's our show, guys. Thanks for tuning in. However you may be watching this show, whether on your iPhone, on your iPad, on your computer, make sure you check us out at The Money in the Bank Show. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. We'd love to hear what you think.
Absolutely.
And we will see you next week. And next week, we could potentially be Monday Night Raw. Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Pizza?
Yes, get over here.
Do it.